Welcome back here to the Martensville Recreation Center. It's day 2 of competition here at the UMH-68. And after a night's sleep, every team emerges with a win and a loss. And so this game, the last of the round robin, will decide who finishes first or second and who gets relegated down to that third, fourth position. We'll start with our rosters for the game today, starting with Team Gray. The head coach of Team Gray is U18 Yorkton Kinsman Maulers, and their ambassador, Tyrone Sobry of the PA Raiders. On defense, we have Carter Schmier, Eli Mantica, Kieran McGee, Colton Brio, Blake Olesko, Zach Markowski, Jun Lee, Kane Hadfield, Ryan Guest, RJ Livingston, Carter McLean, Kason Featherstone, Beckett Fordham, Jacoby Cardinal, and Thomas McFarlane, and the goaltenders Micah Paulinski and Noah Eben. And now, introducing Team Blue on defense. Owen Grant, Sam Clausen, Colby Holland, Kiefer Pilling, and the forwards Braden Gorel, Riley Souster, Kason Shays, Rowan Istis, Walker Morrow, Santiago Serrano Parker, Jet Jakubek, Yukon Kim, and Nate Linchot. And the starting goalies, or the goalies for Team Blue, Ben Bodnerchuk and Owen Morley. Team Blue's head coach is Ryan Keller, the head coach and general manager of Saskatoon Contacts, and their ambassador is Rowan Guest of the Kelowna Rockets.
I'm going to put the papers out and I'll come back and watch it.
Welcome our UM68 national sponsors. They are BioSteel, Iron Ghost Construction, and Elite Prospects, and also sponsoring at the national level hockey. Up My Hockey is proud to provide scholarships to players attending UM68 because their talent deserves opportunity. Change your thinking, change your game. Up My Hockey, where mindset meets performance. And Elite Prospects is the gateway to hockey. Online since 1999, EliteProspects.com is the #1 statistical hockey resource, serving over 1 million unique visitors weekly. It offers the most informative hockey player database on the web and has the most reliable transactions tracker available. Iron Ghost Construction, as platinum sponsor, as a dedicated platinum sponsor of UMH-68, Iron Ghost has provided player scholarships at all 4 events, helping young athletes chase their dreams on and off the ice. And BioSteel, as a main sponsor of UMH-68, has provided athlete perks. BioSteel discount. We're thrilled to have BioSteel as an official UMH-68 sponsor. All UMH-68 athletes receive 20% off during the event. Use code UMH68 at biosteel.ca. We're also pleased to welcome Ainsworth Refrigeration Company. Ainsworth Refrigeration Company is a leader in HVAC and refrigeration solutions and commitment to community. We're thrilled to have them on board as a sponsor for UMH-68 Saskatchewan, helping to provide healthy snacks in the dressing rooms so our athletes stay fueled and focused. Thank you, Ainsworth, for supporting the next generation of hockey talent. And here we go, the final game of the round robin for both teams here. Team Gray taking on Team Blue. Both teams looking for their second win of the tournament. McFarlane wins that face-off, and now Pilling back to his D partner, and Blue looking to gain the zone for the first time, and Souster gets that puck in deep, and pursuit now. The Souster line consisting of Souster, Lintott. It looks like a little line juggling here. Souster and Lintott out on the start there with Morrow. So Coach Keller changing things up a little bit. Team Blue suffering their first loss in the last game last night, looking for a bounce back here. And already a decent start. They look to be moving the puck around. Lintott on his way down gets that puck in and then goes for a change. Now circling his net in Team Grey, Carter Schmier. And Grey winning their first game yesterday and then losing to Team Black in the second contest. Both teams here coming off of losses, looking for a bounce back and getting themselves in a favorable position for tonight's semifinals. A nice through pass to Serrano Parker, and it looks like they've got Serrano Parker paired up again with Kim. And the other partner they've got in that puck tied up in the corner here. And it looks like Serrano Parker and Kim are paired off again today with Jet Jakubek. And Jakubek, a couple of goals yesterday, and that first shot. And able to see it through traffic is Team Grey's goalie, Micah Polinsky. Polinsky of the Saskatoon Kodiaks facing his first shot of the morning. And now Grey hoping to get in. Grey hasn't crossed the blue line yet to have their chance to take a shot in at Ben Bardnerchuk, who's starting in goal for Team Blue. Mantika, now his D-to-D pass goes back into the corner, and Grey now working their way out of their zone. And Grey with their first shot, Bodnerchuk, and that shot goes in. Bodnerchuk had the first stop, but it bounced up over top of his head. And Team Grey on the board. It looks like it was Jacoby Cardinal, but we'll get confirmation on that. And indeed it was Jacoby Cardinal. Cardinal being so effective on the faceoff dot, nearly unbeatable, and now he's contributing in the score column too. So at 17:45 mark, Team Grey goes up by a score of 1-0, and Livingstone back in there again, looking for it, and this time Bodnerchuk, no doubt, gets his handle on it. And that first shot is typically probably the hardest, I would say, for the goaltender, just to get the feel for the puck, and he did get his hands on it. It just took a lucky bounce up over his head. Now he's a battler. And now Blue will look to see if they can get themselves back into this. Kaysen Shays takes a hit in the corner, and he's separated from the puck. He continues to battle Livingston. Chips it out. Now D-to-D pass from Blue, and Blue will fire it straight back in off the stick of Owen Grant. And now that puck comes momentarily into the Blue plate, and Owen Istis able to provide a little bit of pressure there, and then the puck brought out. Rowan Istis, a couple of goals in this tournament himself, and that puck centered almost onto the stick, but Blue able to rally for their goaltender, and they chip it out, and that puck will go not quite for icing. Gives Blue an opportunity to get a fresh set of skaters, and it did get some legs, and now we'll get a face-off inside the Blue zone. And we've got a change of guys. Hadfield coming out for one of his first shifts for Team Grey, and Thomas McFarland with a couple of goals last night takes the draw here for Team Grey, and he wins it cleanly to Schmier. Schmier goes D-to-D with the heart.
Team Grey goal.
As Zach Markowski.
First goal of the game, number 16.
And now we've got a chance for Grey, just chipped over top of the net. Grey pushing here hard. Lintott down on the half board. He comes down, mixes it up a little bit, and the puck comes loose over to Pilling. And Pilling has to regroup back into the corner. Able to put on the body onto Markowski. Markowski on the pinch, and Lintott now, and now the puck is cleared, and Grey cycles it right straight back in. And Pilling now takes a look up, got a man. No call on there, probably a good one. Good contact, no stick into the legs. He just lost his footing, and there's Pilling again with some pressure on him, and he's able to dish that puck up. And is this Serrano Parker? Yes, it is indeed. Serrano Parker off to Kim. Kim with some space. He can be lethal from that spot. He showed that yesterday with the first goal of the Blues campaign, picking a top corner, but this time it's steered out of danger's way. Puck now back up to the point again. And that shot steered away from the net by Paulinski. Puck now in front. And we've seen a lot of point shot with the front man for Team Blue. With the attempt on that tip, hasn't yielded any goals yet, but it's bound to at some point. Seems to be a strategy for Team Blue here. Team Grey, their hallmarks from yesterday, a really, really aggressive forecheck, yielding a lot of goals, pinning their teammates in. Neither team able to really establish any serious offensive pressure at the moment. And a puck right in front, Serrano Parker, and he scores. You give a guy like that some time, and Serrano Parker draws this game even, much to the delight of the bench as they tap their sticks. And he gets his Saturday morning off to a good start. So at the 14:38 mark, we have a tie game, Team Blue and Team Grey. And so that line juggle by Coach Keller after day one seems to be paying off, and we'll see if this retooled line here of Istis, Shays, and Jackie Beck are able to provide some good counter punch and defensive back check. And as Fordham here regroups, Grey will attempt to recover from that goal and see if they can get back into the lead moving forward. And in the corner for Team Blue, actually it's Goro is the third guy on that line. That puck right in front. And good defensive play. And it looked like it was the center, Cardinal, who actually did that. And almost a cross-ice pass. And that puck not quite stable enough to put it up and into the net past Bodnarchuk. And we now go back into the Grey zone. Grey's defense popping across. Good outlet pass by Kieran McGee, and he goes off for a change. And now Shays works his way, or Guest works his way in for Grey. And Grey still plunking along Zach Murkowski, and he adds to his point total. Murkowski, he goes top shelf and puts up another for Team Grey. 13:32 now. Sure is 2-1. That's a guy you don't want to let walk in. He loves to pinch in on the play, does Murkowski. And in the first game yesterday was all assists. He had 4 assists. This time he gets in there with the goal. He seems to like these morning starts because they had the early morning game yesterday as well, and he was all over the score sheet in that endeavor. And let's see if Team Blue has it in them to regroup and recover off of that goal. This tournament showcasing some of the finest offensive talent in both Saskatchewan and Alberta. We have 12 players in here from Alberta. And Murkowski, of course, from Waka, Saskatchewan, playing for the Warman Wildcats, and he made no doubt about where that puck was going. And now Grey looking a little more comfortable now. Perhaps a little jittery after that loss, not wanting to make any mistakes. Now they're freewheeling like we saw yesterday, and there's another great opportunity and another goal. 13, Carter McLean, and he works his way through, and he splits the wickets. And so just like that, Team Grey up by 2, and you can see they were a little bit tentative to start, and they have kind of found that swagger that helped them dominate Team Red yesterday in the first game with the 8-2 score. McFarland walks in this time, slides it low on the ice, right between the legs, Bodnarchuk. And now the work is clear for Team Blue. They got to get something going here after a really good pushback after the first goal. Pilling pops it up. And now working his way down. And if there's one thing that we could say probably with the difference between maybe Team Blue and some of the other teams here is Blue has more of the stand-up type defenders. And here we go again. Now we've got another break up the ice and left all alone. Team Grey back on the board again. Bondarchuk not getting an awful lot of defensive support from his guys in front. Hopefully they'll be able to gain that. This time Kane Hadfield left all alone there, and he makes good. Went blocker side, and now it's 4-1 after 8 minutes of play. But as I was saying, and it looks like Coach Keller's going to take a timeout. It's probably wise just to kind of, I know they're 12 and 13-year-olds, but he might be starting to peel the paint off the wall a little bit in terms of trying to get back and provide the Tendy a little support. We've got our goaltender out on an island there a lot of times, and we need to see a little bit more contest of the puck. And if you're Team Grey and you're the coach there, I'm not sure what you say other than just keep doing what you're doing. They've got themselves in a good, enviable spot to punch your ticket to get through and get one of those favorable spots. The 3-star awards for our tournament are proudly sponsored by local company Ritchie Brothers Auction. We're proud to have Ritchie Brothers as the official sponsor of the 3 stars of the game at UMH-68 Saskatchewan, recognizing the top performers and celebrating excellence on the ice. When it comes to buying and selling heavy equipment, Ritchie Brothers is the name you can trust. As a global leader in industrial auctions, they connect buyers and sellers with unmatched service and reach. Ritchie Brothers, powering big moves on and off the rink. And we weren't down there to be able to see what Ryan Keller told his team, but maybe we'll be able to see that in a response here after the timeout. Keller needed to call that after 3 goals in succession in less than 3 minutes. Has the potential to put this game out of reach this early in the game. Now we know that Blue has the ability to bounce back, and there we go, a little bit more of a contest on the stick that time. And when Bondarchuk has an extra body or two back to assist him, he is proven like he did in the second period of, in the third period of the first game yesterday, when he was so impactful with some of those saves. Team Blue needing to get back on the back check, and that may be early evidence that Coach Keller's words did in fact echo the same sentiment. Now we've got Grey pressing inside the zone. Looks like Schmier has pinched in. And if there's one difference from the other 3 teams to what we see with Team Blue is that Blue's got more of that steady rock defense, staying back, maybe not pinching as often, whereas there's a green light, it seems, in the minds of the defenders from the other 3 squads. We see a lot of action, especially Team Grey, and watching their defenders pinch. We've got some of the top scorers in this tournament coming from the backside. But that being said, Team Blue having some problems on their side of the ice might be better suited to continue to have that. Very good stop there from Bondarchuk. And that Clapper, talking about defenders, Schmier from the top of the circle, hits the top of the crossbar, and that one goes out. Bondarchuk had a nice low save there, having to get his right pad kicked out to stop that, keeps his team in action, and that's got to be a confidence builder. Face off now to his right, and we're going to see Jun Lee taking the draw, and it might be Souster down there for Team Blue, and Lee takes it. And so this line of Souster, Lintott, and Morrow, we'll see if they're able to start to generate a little bit of offense, but they got to play. Oh, good stop by Bondarchuk, and that's what we're looking for. He had some assistance from his D partner there, tying up the stick and saving that potential rebound, and that's kind of what Blue's going to need here. Is they're going to have to take a little bit of time, make sure the backhand is taken care of before they can start thinking about goals. Livingston with a great move, and Livingston right to Jun Lee, and Team Grey continuing with their dominance, especially in these morning games. Livingston, though, came all the way in, and perfect feed to Lee. I'm 53 years old and I probably score that goal, and I'm not that good of a gifted shot, but Lee, all he had to do is just tap that one in. Great effort from his teammate, making it look easy, RJ Livingston. And now we've got a vital face-off, and Team Blue looking for anything to get them sparked. Serrano Parker, the own goal scorer for Team Blue, making his presence felt early in the game and hoping to maybe have a little bit more opportunity. And there's a chip from him, just about got him free. McFarland, though, able to hang on to that puck. He's big winger there, tough to get off that puck there. But here comes Blue now. Serrano Parker has got a guy with him, and he dishes it off, the puck right across, and almost there. Excellent stop by Colton Brio. Brio got a skate on that. And if you're Team Blue right now, you're remembering that this is a development tournament. You got nothing to lose. This is your opportunity to work on a couple of those skills that you've been trying to hone in a game of practice. And there's Serrano Parker. He comes across. Oh, Brio again. And Brio, that stayed home. Oh, huge hit. Upside play continuing. Both guys getting up, but what a boom Owen Grant lowered there. And Grant getting a little bit of frustration perhaps out. And nice clean hit. And Bondarchuk with the save. And that might be what Team Blue is looking for to get themselves going. You got a big body down there, and Owen Grant, he made his statement there. And let's see if he continues on with that kind of play. Nice clean open hit. And this is one of those times where replay, maybe we'll see that one in the highlight reel. I got Alvin next to me here doing the highlights. I'm giving a little suggestion. That was a nice big booming hit and a good highlight for Team Blue here in a tough period. 8:46 to go in the first period. Team Blue maybe shoring up a little bit back in front of Bondarchuk. And we'll see if Grant can continue on here. He takes a look. He just chips it up the ice there. And that puck driven right straight back down into the Blues area. And a lot of the action so far in the last couple of minutes have been down on that left side to our left of the rink. Blue temporarily finding their way back into Gray, but Gray's transition game has been really impressive here. And what we saw yesterday was they were allowed to completely own the neutral zone, walking that puck in. And what we saw Coach Bear's team do last night in the loss to Black is that Coach Bear coached Black team effectively took that neutral zone out, neutralized it. But you watch, Gray's able to generate a lot of offense here when they're given free rein. Look at the gap there. But how do you defend that as Team Blue? You've already been getting guys in behind, so you have to give them a little bit of cushion, and they just take that and they use that to their advantage. Team Gray does. And now we see they've got the opportunity to keep that puck low and just grind it out, what we saw there. And that puck right in front, and it's deftly picked up. Looks like one of the wingers has come back, and that is Kason Shays. Shays gets it deep into Eistis. Eistis chooses to let it go through, but I think another break here for Livingston, and that puck off. That time it hit the post, but Bondarchuk had the angle, and almost exactly in our sight line here, and he came out and covered that perfectly, leaving only the post there. And so the puck stays out, and Gray continuing to press the issue here with some good forecheck pressure. Pilling down there in the corner, and Lee piling it up top to Markowski. But he's checked tightly there by Istis, and Istis not allowing Markowski to have any opportunity to come and pinch in. Let's see if Istis gets back up there again. And again, that pressure now. Oh, we look like we were going to get ourselves out of that mess they are in the own defensive zone, and they're stuck there, it seems. And again, Livingston able to just stand with time, and he goes roof. And we've got 6-1 score now for Team Gray. And Team Blue looking for any answers that they can find. And just looking at the body language at the moment, coach is going to have to get in there and get them fired up. This is the second game in a row that they've been a little bit porous on the back end. Now all 5 guys and the goalie are going to need to get themselves back into this. One of the examples of UMH-68, of course, is that mindset that's so important, and needing to continue to do their best despite what's going on the score clock is really important here, especially in a development situation like this. And so if they can frame it right, Team Blue has an opportunity here to look and develop an experience a lot of these guys probably don't have in their regular spots where they're challenged and maybe trailing by a score like this. So let's see if they seize that opportunity. And then, of course, Gray, everything is going Gray's way right now.
6 minutes and 23 seconds in the first period.
Enjoying a 5-minute lead with 5:41 to go here in the first. That puck shot down low, and Team Gray's Case of Featherstone able to feed it up to the point. And we're looking at a little bit of puck movement here, and that puck lands on the stick of Colby Holland. And now we've got ourselves an opportunity, a 2-on-1. Nate Lintott gets across, and that puck skipped, but almost went in off of Serrano Parker's shin, and that's promise for the Team Blue. If Team Blue can get themselves out of their own zone, they have proven they can score goals, and that seems to be the challenge right now, is this when they get penned in, they need that battle space. And here we go with number 15 and Bodnerchuk. That one went off to the throat plate, but he made the save there. Or it went off his mask, actually, but he had that right in front of him, and most importantly, swallowed up the rebound. 4:54 to go in the period. Boston Pizza, great food, good times, and proud supporters of youth hockey, and sponsoring all coaches' meals and the banquet held earlier in the weekend, thanks to Boston Pizza and their support of the UMH-68 U14 Saskatchewan. And just like that, no chance for Istis to get any movement there, but he was able to chip that puck forward before he got checked off of it. And now we've got some offensive zone time for Blue. Shays here looking to center it, but again, Cardinal able to get in there and get that puck out and deep into Blue's area here again. And we're going to see over the course of this game if Blue can get that solid outlet pass and get something going when they're out there. They've been pinned in here, seemingly chasing that puck a couple of times, but they kind of have to. If they leave Gray alone, Gray's got the firepower individually to make that play. Istis been doing a really great job in the defensive zone there, but he makes that chip, but nobody to chip it to. And we'll see now if they can solve this pressure that seems to be relentless coming from Gray. And Istis smartly with that puck lift, he's got that down, and that's perfect draw weight, if we're going to use a curling term, and that gets his team an opportunity to get a change. And really, when you're pinned in like this so often, those shift times go up. It's just kind of like a vicious circle. The shift time goes up, you get tired, you're not cycling through your 3 lines, you get out of that game, and it just becomes a really tough situation to solve. But Souster doing his best there from his center spot to provide some support down low. But again, that outlet pass not making it through up to the half board, and now we've got ourselves an opportunity to get out. Lintott going wide. But we got, look at that, 4 Gray jerseys back on the back check and only 2 guys in Blue. I know there was a bit of a shift going on there, but I think Blue taking so much time trying to have to cover their back end, or then a little reluctant to jump into that play and formulate any kind of offense. Meanwhile, Gray, with that cushion, are able to freely execute their game plan as much as they want. Livingston coming out of the corner there. Lee down into the possession of Eli Mantica. And now Schmier, he goes and pinches. And now we've got a quick moving Serrano Parker, and that's baby. Great curl, and that looked easy. Serrano Parker now getting that shot on, and that's steered to the side by Paulinski. And Paulinski's had a relatively quiet first period, 1:53 to go here. He's only had 6 shots on net. Bodnerchuk facing 16. But he was up to the challenge there and steered it right where his defense. And there we go. Oh, a great opportunity there. And Kim couldn't find the handle in that one. But Gray starting to show a little bit of what made them so successful in the first game yesterday. Blue, using that speed. And Keller's probably going to be talking to them a little bit about that, just saying. And that was initiated with Serrano Parker actually picking that puck up directly out of there. And here we go again. Now the outlet's working. You can see what happens when we're able to get ourselves out of the zone. Now we can use Team Blue's speed. And so in a limited time format tournament like that, that team chemistry, bit of an issue, but an opportunity for a coach to make a change like that. And oftentimes it's one difference perhaps that makes it all better. And we've seen that now 3 times where Team Blue made an adjustment, got out of their zone, and are enjoying a little bit of offensive pressure time now. Way more fun probably to be in the offensive zone having a chance to score than continually having to dig a puck out of an aggressive forecheck. Let's see if Gray's able to get out and whether Blue, look at that. We got a pinch there from Kelly and a shot from Istis. Now Blue taking a little bit of a page from Team Gray. They're putting the pressure on. And we've had a couple of shots here, Pilling with the pinch. And that's more of what we want to see from Team Blue. Sometimes the best defense, as they say, an excellent offense. And we're starting to see a little bit of a turn of the tide. 45 seconds, maybe a little life here in Blue. And if they can get a goal here as the period draws to a close, that might give them something to be excited about once they get back into that dressing room. And there's some pressure again on Shays, trying to get that puck through. And McGee was up for the chain. McGee now outlet pass, and that may go all the way down. And the signal is for icing. Our Games Grit and Grind Award, a $30 gift certificate presented at the end of every game, is sponsored by Wotherspoon Realty. Looking to buy or sell a home? We have got you covered. Since 2009, our award-winning team has been helping clients navigate every step of their real estate journey with confidence. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying your first home, trust the team that delivers results. And Team Blue with a face-off win. Shays now down, putting some pressure on McGee. And Shays in control. And he taking some patient time, cycles it back to Pilling in there. And Kelly now with the puck. He's pinching down low. Kelly off the side of the net. That puck pops out in front. And now there are numbers for Team Gray. Guest and Pilling. But something to build on for the second period for Team Blue. That was what Coach Keller would be looking for, and hopefully they'll pick that up and continue that on. Right now, though, all Gray in the scoring department with the 6-1 lead after one period of play. BioSteel is the platinum sponsor of this and the other 3 UMH-68 events held in Canada. You want to give a quick shout out to BioSteel. They just dropped a hydration variety pack at Costco Canada. It includes 24 bottles, 3 unreal flavors, 0 sugar, clean, healthy hydration for athletes and their families. Grab it next time you're at Costco. Iron Ghost Construction, where quality and safety lead every build. Since 2014, Iron Ghost has delivered quality, safe construction from structure to mechanics, start to finish. Iron Ghost Construction, solid, skilled, proven. A proud supporter of the youth sports in their hometown of Vernon, British Columbia. And we'll bring up the first period scoring summary. Team Gray with a 6-1 lead here after 20 minutes. During the course of the period, things started off very quickly. Jacoby Cardinal receiving a pass from Brian Guest and Colton Brio with the goal at 17:45. Santiago Serrano Parker for Team Blue brought it even with an assist from Yukon Kim and Colby Howland at 14:38. And then it was 4 straight goals for Team Gray. Zach Murkowski from Jacoby Cardinal at 13:32. Carter McLean from Carter Schmier and Zach Murkowski at the 12:20 mark. Then Kane Hadfield from Kason Featherstone at 12:09. Jun Lee from RJ Livingston and Zach Murkowski at 10:18. And then RJ Livingston from Jun Lee at 6:23, and that's where it stands, 6-1 after 20 minutes. And we're pleased to welcome Jason Gordon, the head coach of the U18 AAA Yorkton Kinsman Maulers, all the way here from Yorkton. What brings you to the event today?
Well, I'm pretty excited to be here. Obviously, when Hugh Hamilton had reached out initially, seemed like a great opportunity to meet more players and learn from coaches. And having that up my hockey mindset is something that we really believe in with our team in Yorkton. And it was just something I really wanted to be a part of. So it was very easy to get here. And facility's beautiful, and the players that are all here are really dialed in to become better players.
Awesome. Well, you've had a game under your belt in the practice, but still a little early on. How do you get chemistry with this short a time frame with kids?
Yeah, kids start to find confidence, and for us, a lot of the little things that we're doing in the dressing room, we're trying to take the best things from all of our teams, leaning on our ambassador, Tyrone Sobry, and then bringing in some extra guys just to kind of, give some kids some different ideas and let them kind of feel more comfortable with each other. And the number one way that you have a lot of quick chemistry is just having fun together and finding those line mates and communicating really good with each other.
Well, you guys have a lot of firepower. It's, you had a pretty successful first game, if we could say that. And how do you keep them, how do you, like if you've got a team that's overpowering another team, how do you kind of keep the game competitive? How do you keep it a learning environment for your players? Yeah,
for us, we're trying to teach so much. Like you come into it with one practice and, guys are wanting to know various different things along the way. And we just want them to play, with as much passion as they can. And one of the things that we said to them off the start is we could go through every system in the world right now, but hard work will beat most systems. So if we work hard and we're prepared to do that in every shift there, we're going to continue to have success. And I know you get that first game under your belt and you just have to chalk it up as one game because it's a long road here. 5 games in 3 days on the young bodies is going to be a challenge too. So we just want to make sure they're taking care of themselves on the ice and off the ice. And the whole crew's done a great job to make sure that there's people in place to help our players.
Just so much of this is about what we're seeing here on the ice, but half the experience this weekend is the off the ice stuff. And I imagine the same holds true for your position with the Maulers. How important is that off-ice teamwork and as an individual player?
Well, it's definitely a key part that we really focus on with our group too. We lean on a lot of mindset coaches. We have mental health advocates that work with our players throughout the year. We want to make sure that they're taken care of in their billets throughout the hockey season too. So the off-ice part really translates to the on-ice part so much. So, when we go through things over time, a lot of the coaches in our league very coach similarly. I've heard that from many coaches over the years that a lot of the stuff, there's no secret sauce. It's just a matter of, applying it into the game situation and ensuring that our players have that mindset to play hard. So when you talk about the skills are a big part of it, and I know Courage Bear mentioned it last night at the player banquet, is, if you could spend money in June and July on getting your mind in the right place, it's going to translate alongside all the work you're doing with skills.
Excellent. What kind of advice do you have for players, the ones that you coach in a regular season, and these guys, about what they do during the summertime? What are some things that they can do to become better people, better players? Yeah, you nailed it right on the head. That's the number one thing, that the promise that I make to the players that we recruit is we want to make you a better person coming through our program. And in the summer and looking at things, we talked about it, I know I mentioned at the banquet last night, there's 68 players here. If you were to pick one team, only 17 would be on it. So 75% aren't going home hitting their goals immediately. So if you don't hit your goals initially through the summer, are you going to get better or are you going to get bitter? And, for our guys, when, they come into camps in April, they have a mindset of hoping to make the team and then training through the summer and then making sure they're keeping up with their training so that when they hit into the season, they're not looking back saying, man, I wish I would have woke up that day and went to the gym, or I wish I would have, did a little other things along that instead of maybe staying up late and playing video games too long. And that's a factor, right? Oh, for sure. Maybe one last one. What's the next season looking like for the Maulers? We're excited about the group we bring in. I think, we're going into our league scheduling meeting this evening. So when we go into that, you kind of get everybody in the same room, and all the coaches have dreams of winning the national championship. And those dreams were realized by the Regina Pac Canadians last season. So, we have one of the top leagues in Canada, and we want to continue to have that. So the team that we put together is, right here in Martensville. We've got a few players right here from Martensville that are going to be part of our team. We're a little bit of an older team here right now, and we're a team that has a chip on our shoulder. We want to get to the playoffs, and we haven't been there for a while, and that's the number one goal for us. And last year we didn't hit our goals, so guys that are coming back into the room, they know what it's going to take to try to get to the playoffs, and the new guys that came to our program, they're going to get pushed so that we get there. Thanks a lot, Jason. Jason Gordon joining us from Yorkton, the head coach of the U18 AAA
Yorkton Kinsman Maulers. Thanks for joining us
Hey,
today.
thank you very much. Thanks for having us here.
All right, welcome back to second period here. This is our first of two final games to round out the round robin. Team Grey putting up some numbers in that first period, and we did see a slight pushback from Team Blue in the last 2 minutes, and we'll see whether they're able to carry some of that momentum out of the dressing room and get themselves back into this game. Elite Prospects is a gold sponsor here at the UMH-68 event. Elite Prospects is for serious hockey fans crazy about the NHL, the draft, and your team's prospects. There's no better source than EP Rinkside, providing insight and analysis on players worldwide through written features, video breakdowns, and interviews. Up My Hockey has a podcast, and as gold sponsor of the event, Up My Hockey with Jason Podolin, the podcast for players chasing their full potential. From mindset to performance, this is your go-to source for unlocking the next level in your game. Grow your mindset, grow your game. Up My Hockey, because the mental game matters. And you're hearing that stick clatter from both sides. They are ready to go. Lots of hockey left. These boys will play 5 games each, and first touch so important there, and Bodnarchuk steers that into the corner. And now let's watch, see any adjustments that Team Blue might have made here. Serrano Parker now on top of Schmier, but Schmier's able to dump that puck off, and up the ice comes Carter McLean. A good back check from Serrano Parker, and that puck sent around the boards in behind the net. And Team Blue looking, and Livingston almost picked that one off right in front of the net. And puck trying to get through to Serrano Parker. Kim looking to get some room there to use that shot of his, if possible. And now we've got a pinch here, and Keith able to put a little pressure in the puck now inside of the gray zone, and Istis with that shot from Keith. Istis providing a little support, and Livingston just really jumping that pass, and that's been a hallmark of his work. He's been able to get behind the defense a couple of times during the course of this game. Up My Hockey is a gold sponsor for the National UMH Series, including this weekend here in Saskatchewan. Up My Hockey is proud to support UMH-68 players with scholarships, because mindset matters. Change your thinking, change your game. Puck now down to Grant. Grant factoring into that first period with a bone-crunching check. Mid-ice there. That was the biggest hit of the tournament probably, and he's standing firm there at the point. And now out comes, and a good challenge there from Clausen, and he's able to keep that puck in. And this is good work. Shays now from Blue putting a little bit of pressure down there low, and the puck ends up on Brio's stick. And now the puck coming out to Guest and fired in on net. And that's the first stop for Micah Polinsky this period. And Grant again, 2 shots in succession. And a really nice low shot, only about 6 inches off the ice. And that's kind of perfect if you're looking for that deflection in front. And Istis just a half step back there. We'll see if that timing squares itself up. But already, more of that confidence that we saw at the beginning of the game for Team Blue, and all morning yesterday. Well, they've come back out again, and credit to the coaches for getting their heads back into this. So much of this a mental challenge in elite hockey, and that puck just about bounces into a danger zone there. Team Blue picking up where they left off at the end of the period, keeping the puck deep and in gray zone, and now the puck back out to Pilling. See if Pilling can move. He's very agile on the point. He's very patient with it, still in possession. Cross ice to Kelly. Kelly now, and we're seeing a lot better puck movement. In fact, we actually didn't really get a chance to see any puck movement in the offensive zone for Team Blue. And so Team Blue's confidence starting to stack back up again, and we'll see if they're able to counter. And this is where Gray's been really tough. Big, quick outlet pass. 2 guys on 1, 3 on 1. That time we had 3 bodies back, and that was something we weren't necessarily seeing in the first period. That third back checker, sometimes even the second back checker, and that time Blue had numbers back, and that danger situation didn't manifest itself. Blue able to make that, and the chip forward, and Serrano Parker not able to get a tip on it, and it's waved off. They do say that he did have it, and he was able to track it down. Now he's able to use the speed. Serrano Parker on his knees, pass in front. And Gray, Livingston, chops it in, and half of his line are off. He's going to provide a little bit of pressure up as McLean and Lee come in. And Livingston had a couple of tallies there in the first period, looking to get more, and Lee just pops it into the corner. Lee scoring one of the nicer goals in the action yesterday early on, just picking top corner. And here we go, we've got ourselves a break by Jack Quebec, the Edmonton product, with 2 goals in last night's game. Jack Quebec, and now we've got numbers back, and just this quick turnaround, a great duo combo. Holland able to get a stick on it, and the puck gets through, but Bodnerchuk, he's rock solid there. And now Serrano Parker able to make his way out, and he's got Lee with him. Serrano Parker, and then dumped in the corner, and an odd rush coming out. It looks actually like Blue's going to have some backstop. McLean there, his shot deflected and into the corner, and Grant now puts the body on him, and out comes Gorel. And Gorel's got Jack Quebec with him. Gorel still looking, he gets a shot. And a little bit of life out of Gorel, and he had a tally yesterday. He kind of, if he gets going, then you've got a little bit of danger coming his way, and Gorel able to put it, and already 4.5 minutes in, no goals scored here at the 15:27 mark, and the shots on goal starting to balance out. 14-17 still in favor of Gray, but Blue definitely executing their game plan a lot better than Coach wanted them to do in first period. We didn't see that, and look at the numbers back. That's probably the messaging that Coach Keller really emphasized there, was we got to take care of our goaltender and our defensive zone, and then start looking. That time there was 1 guy in Gray and 4 Blue in the back. So we're going to get Cardinal here. You watch him in that face-off spot. Well, that time we might actually give that one to Gorel. That might be the first face-off loss I've seen Cardinal have. He's just been so dominant on the dot. But there's the puck in the hands of Gray again. Good stop by Bodnerchuk. Excellent follow-up on the rebound by Grant. Puck cycled back to the point there for Gray. Gray back to the point, and it looks like Gray's shot to Mantika, and Mantika's shot all the way straight through. And Mantika's first of the tournament comes at the 14:45 mark. And he was just slid that one straight through the wickets and popped that in. Let's just see. I'm not sure if it was Mantika or whether it was Brio. Could have been Brio. Hard to see sometime from up here, but nonetheless, we got a 7-1 lead here. And we'll confirm that once the official score thing. But Alesko now, Alesko with some puck control himself, not afraid to carry it, and he gets it deep, and he pursues it into the corner, and both players fall hard but are able to get themselves out. And Hadfield now with that shot from the point, and perhaps a little bit of coaching from Jason Gordon, and that puck, McFarland finds the back of the net, and Blue, we'll see. It's so tough when you have lapsed into certain patterns, whether we're going to get a pushback shift here again. That's sort of been the issue for them, is a letdown after a goal, which then receives another opportunity for another goal, and the cycle continues. So tough slogging for Coach Keller, but he's up, I'm sure, to the challenge, and we're going to see some hard work there. But everything going Gray's way here with 8 goals in the first 25 minutes. And we did start to see a little bit of that cycling back to the point, and when you're coaching, sometimes it's as much of a challenge to keep the focus for your players when they're up by 7. This is an opportunity for both sides to practice a situation that they don't often experience in a lopsided scenario. When you're Team Blue, it's really tough, and that's where the mind game and the mindset comes in, of continuing to do your job and execute the game plan that your coach is, and just to wipe out everything that happened before that point. And then Team Gray, equally challenging to be able to continue to stay focused and not fall into some bad habits. Keep in mind, they lost to Team Black yesterday, and there are opportunities for where they may see that Team Black team again. And if they get into any lazy habits, Coach Gordon will have to keep an eye on that. So the challenge still exists in a game, even when the score is 8-1. And all of these teams are making the playoffs. So this being a development opportunity, both opportunities lie here for the coaches, and we'll see whether they're able to get in there. Oh, and they're going to give the goal to Markowski on that last play. And so the official score, the credit for that is to Markowski. And we got Morrow now, and Morrow chasing it down, but it goes for an icing. Before we get to that, once again, we want to thank our title sponsor here, the Platinum sponsors, BioSteel. Between hockey practices, tournaments, and road trips, staying hydrated is a must, and now it's easier than ever with BioSteel's Variety Pack, available at Costco Canada. Stock the garage, fridge, keep the kids game ready. Feel good about what they're drinking. BioSteel, the Platinum sponsor for UMH-68 for all 4 events, including this weekend here in Saskatchewan. And Gray penned in now with blue. We'll see that puck pops off the stick of Keaton Keith. But he's able to clear, but it goes off a body and into the player's bench. And we'll get a face-off to the left of Ben Bodnarchuk. 12:27 to go here in the second period. After 2 games yesterday, we had Ryland Bergen, a Team Black, was leading the tournament with 5 points. Now that's probably not going to be standing up at this point, as Markowski's received a ton of goals here. Great chance for Team Blue, and a big save by Micah Polinsky. He flashing the lever, and he picks that one up.
That was 14:35 in the second period.
So after the second game yesterday, we had the top 5 was Ryland Bergen with 3 goals and 2 assists, leading the tournament in scoring. And then it was Kaysen Shays with 3 goals and 2 assists. Cohen Kershane down at 3 goals and 2 assists as well. All 3 of those guys with the tournament lead in scoring. But we've seen Markowski, he has lit things up here so far, and he may find himself at the top there. Another chance for Team Blue. And Team Blue scrambling there, and nobody's got it. The puck's still loose in the blue paint. We can see it up here. And now the Stripes see it. And we've got some after the drop action, and both 15s taking exception. Fordham and Jakubek. And you're going to see a little bit of a pushback there when there's a scrum like that in front of your goaltender. And the referees wisely send the 2 boys to the box. Give them 2 minutes to think about what they've done, and we're back in with the action here. It's good. One of the developing things that these boys will have in their game is the response for protecting your goaltender in the crease area, and so both gentlemen conducted themselves relatively well there, and they are in the box though for their efforts. And now Team Gray, with a head of steam coming out of it, is Mark Farland again. He's already got a goal in this game. Steers the puck towards the net, and that one easily handled by Bodnarchuk. And Serrano Parker, he falls, puck now in. Bodnarchuk able to stop that, but standing right at the side of the net in a deadly position was Hadfield. Had that puck been slid across to him, he would have had the tap in, but Bodnarchuk did well. He does this so well where there's very little rebound activity coming off of him, and he settles things down, and there's a face-off to his right. Gorel taking on McFarland, and that one we're going to give it as a draw, although Gray gets the shot off, and Bodnarchuk able to pop that puck now in the blue paint, and Bodnarchuk unable to get his hands on that one, and that goes for another goal for Team Gray. Goal scorer there, Kaysen Featherstone, playing out of Warman. And Featherstone makes it 9-1 with 11:11 to go in the period. Shots on goal, 26 for Gray and 17 for Blue. And keeping an eye on that shots on goal. For a while there, it was imbalanced, and then Blue with a push able to bring it back. And now Gray, having all the success, are just piling those shots on again onto this Tendy. And Bodnarchuk, though, you wouldn't know it, he's still in there. Good positional play, but Gray in control on there. Breo looking to make that tape-to-tape pass across ice. And Manteca able to keep that puck in. Breo now, puck running around, and he just puts it straight back into Livingston. Livingston with a little bit of a box out there, but he loses his footing. And that puck now brought back up again, and it is up to Manteca. Down in the corner now, Grant. Grant, interesting to see though. A couple of times we've seen that where Grant's got the puck, and after that big hit there in the first period, there doesn't seem to be anybody wanting to mix it up with him, and that was evident there. He was behind the net with the puck on his stick, and Livingston took a look at him and was like, well, not right now with the 8-goal lead. So Grant doing a really excellent job of clearing some space through reputation. And now Gorel, he comes out of the corner, and the puck ends up on Shays' stick, and Kason Shays, his clearing attempt is fired right straight back in by Manteca. And Manteca now, his packman, he and Grant playing pass basically back and forth. Manteca firing into the corner, and then Grant firing out. Now the puck back out over the bench, and that brings up another face-off.
Today's game is sponsored by Witherspoon Realty. Looking to buy or sell a home?
We're proud to welcome Trash Power Skating as a sponsor. Speed, precision, and edge control. Trash Power Skating is where serious players sharpen their skills. Trash Power Skating, because powerful skating changes the game. 9:29 to go here, and we got a face-off to the left of Bodnarchuk. And Souster now, and that face-off draw won by Cardinal. He's a tough one to beat from the dot. And that puck, Pilling took that one with the block off of his shin. He felt that a little bit, but he's still playing. Bodnarchuk, that tip in front, and he had eyes on it the whole way, and he gets a little kick out, and now we've got a break. Lintodd coming up the ice for Blue. Istis following. He falls, and now we've got the rush back up. But Kelly equal to the task. And we're looking for Kelly maybe. He's a fairly mobile defender, and Istis now, Serrano Parker, he comes across that centering pass to Istis. Tough one, doesn't quite get on his stick. And we're back down. Now teams exchanging possession inside the neutral zone. Pass across to Pilling, and Pilling now we see Pilling. We haven't seen a lot of him taking it, but look at this. Pilling brings it in, and he gets it in, and we'll be seeing, hopefully, he's been described as a puck possession type defender. Most of that has been in a defensive spot, but that time we saw him bringing it in all the way on the offense, and hopefully we'll see more of that. And that pass in front, and just goes past Serrano Parker right on the doorstep, and he can't quite get it in, and Micah Paulinski does well to smother that and nullify that scoring chance. 7:53 to go in the second period. And a little bit of a pushback now from Blue. We'll see if they can sustain that. A-Cane Hockey is providing prize pack to the Sidney Crosby Award winner. That award is chosen at the end of the tournament by the coaches at UMH-68. Thanks to A-Can for their sponsorship of this weekend's event. And a break now for Gray, but Keith up for the challenge. Keith on McFarland, and Lee sends it around behind the net, and Jack Quebec out of the penalty box now gets that up, and Lee has to go back and regroup. Puck now down below the goal line again. Gray putting some pressure on. And Holland, McFarland, he's got time to look in front. And Serrano Parker in his support role as center, he's the one who comes out with the puck, and he's leading the rush now. Puck brought up to Holland, and Holland gets it deep, and we'll see if Serrano Parker is able to put a little pressure, and he does. He actually comes up momentarily with the puck. Jet Jackie Beck in there as well. Puck ends up back in the corner, and Jackie Beck using a little bit of his speed. And now we've got the cycle going on for Blue, and here's Lee. Lee looking, he just censors it. Nobody in front, and now Gray working their way back up the ice. Gray patiently, Hadfield trying to put the puck onto the stick of Case and Featherstone, but now we're getting more of an open style game here the last couple of minutes, and Gorel looking in front and just maybe a little bit of a hook gets out in the hands, but the refs are going to allow that to go. And Blue continuing now, Holland, and the defenders now, we're starting to see some movement, pushing the puck up ice by Blues defenders who are struggling to get that outlet pass, and that could be an adjustment that comes up and gives a couple of the answers to some of the questions Blue's been having from their bench. And Shays with some pursuit now. As mentioned, we haven't seen a lot of range from the Blue defenders, most often looking for that outlet pass. And many of these boys are able to carry that puck themselves, and perhaps this is an opportunity for them to get experience. That shot from Clausen is off the blocker of Paulinski, and the puck comes back out. Grant now, he's having himself a game. He finds his D partner Clausen. Clausen now pinned by Livingston. And Livingston content to just keep it there and let a teammate dig it out. And now Gorel will have to go back. Oh, he's going to allow Grant. Let's see what kind of... Grant getting a lot of room there, and that puck right in front, and Lee just shoots it a little wide. Livingston uses his body so well. He boxes out there in the corner. Tough to get him off the puck. And he gets that shot off right into the UMH logo, Bodnarchuk, and Bodnarchuk freezes it for a face-off. That face-off will be at the 4:53 mark to his left. Player safety is top priority at UMH-68, and we're proud to partner with Bames Physiotherapy right here in Martensville. Help make that happen. Bames Physiotherapy, trusted care for every stage of the game. And we got a McLean face-off win, and Hatfield now, he's pushed off the puck by Pilling, and let's see, Pilling with that headmans it to Morrow, but Morrow had traffic in front of him and can't get very far, and now they reverse the puck and off Lintot's stick. And here's Livingston again, probably the easiest guy to spot in the whole tournament with that red helmet. He has been a force in all three of these games, and he continues to put them pressure on there. And there's Kelly now, and we're going to see, we'd like to see Jennings Kelly perhaps take that puck for a bit of a walk too. He's been really quite silent on his offensive front, but he was put on this squad for that push puck moving capability. And there's Livingston again. And here he comes, head of steam, and we'll see Pilling. He gets a little stick on there, and he's able to get him off. And Livingston might have taken the worse for the wear there on that stick check. He's shaking his hand, and he comes off. And he looks like he's shaking that off. And Souster now, Lintot, Souster, and Jackie Beck, all three of them right tight together there. And Kelly, and let's see now if Kelly will take it for a run, and he's got some confidence carrying it, but he's stripped of that pass and all the way through. But he's able to get there and do his job and play some defense. And now up comes Jackie Beck. Jackie Beck puts it in with some numbers now. Serrano Parker, he gets it down into Lee. And Lee, pardon me, Kim. Yukon Kim, I'm going to find room in. Gray in behind. And Guest's shot steered aside by Bodnarchuk. It's great to see Bodnarchuk having settled right in there. He battled for a little while there, struggled in the game yesterday and early on, and just seeing a lot of traffic in front of him, and he gets his mitts on that one. And that'll be the 32nd shot he sees. 2:44 to go in the period. And Gray still pressing the issue. Tough morning for Blue. And Gorel's going to take the face-off here against McFarland. We've seen this face-off before, and they're about 50-50 on the draw. This time it's Gorel with the win. And we, of course, saw Gorel win that draw against Cardinal earlier, and that may have been Cardinal's first draw loss. So Gorel, a guy to watch there with his face-off skill, and may come in handy later on in the tournament. And now Istis curls, looking for numbers. He gets across, nice pass over to Keith, but he's unable to corral it with the pinch. And now it is two-man up with McFarland, unable to center it though. And a good play by Colby Holland. He was back there all by himself. Two Gray fellas in there, and first shot. And Bodnerchuk unable to get that third shot. And actually, we've seen a goal change, pardon me. Now it's Owen Morley. Morley now under siege, and change up on the goaltender, and I'm sure Bodnerchuk looking at that and going, yeah, that's been the sum of the morning. It's been a tough go for the Blue goalies. But Morley will stand in. He made the first two stops, it looked like, on that case, but the third one, tough one to go. And now we've got the face-off with Blue pushing Lintott, putting a little bit of pressure on Kelly here. And that puck cycles back out again, and Keith, we'll see if Keith is able to get it. He feathers it off the boards. Souster unable to pick it up. And now Brio. And Brio has been quietly having a really solid game here as well. Livingston putting a little bit of pressure on that puck just out of the reach of Morrow, and it'll come all the way back. And Michael Polinsky is going to freeze that. I think it's still Polinsky in there. A minute 30, 90 seconds to go in this second period. And we're going to be joined, we're excited to be joined by the Grey Team ambassador, the Prince Albert Raiders' own Tyrone Sobry. He'll be up for the interview right at the intermission here, and we'll get a chance to see what his experience is. Of course, he's coming off of that Grey bench, and it's been a great tournament so far for Grey, and we've been hearing lots of wonderful things about the role that the ambassadors play during this weekend. He'll be the first one, and we're hoping that throughout the games today we're going to get a chance to hear from these WHL player mentors and what an important role they have, and we've been hearing great things about the influence they've had on these 12 and 13-year-old boys. So stick around, and we're going to have that. Jason Gordon, head coach, sending Tyrone up, and we'll have a chance to get his take on what is going well here for Team Grey. They are certainly showing their ability to score. But let's not forget that Michael Polinsky, he's faced 22 shots and been good on all but 21 of them. And now Clausen goes back, time winding down, 30 seconds. We've seen a couple goals here. Serrano Parker. Serrano Parker's in. He shoots. Polinsky, he's spread out. He's lost his stick and he lost his glove, and wisely tucks that hand in behind. And good call on the referee's part, seeing the vulnerability of the goaltender. He blows that whistle and calls it dead. He lost his stick, his glove, and he kept the puck out. Polinsky having himself a game here, and that's his 22nd save of the morning. And now the face-off there, McFarland winning that one, and Serrano Parker in front. And just unable to get his hands on that. And a good stick check from Schmier. And puck stays out. Winding seconds, 6 seconds remaining. We'll see if Blues got one more chance for a shot. And we do. And that goal is gonna count. We don't have all that advanced technology you see maybe on Sportsnet, but I'm gonna say it was under a second left in play. Beautiful shot from Yukon Kim. Not just a buzzer beater, but a really pretty goal. And no quit there. And if you're looking as Jason Gordon, maybe that's a good opportunity for him to reinforce. Played very well, but you can't play until you hear that horn signaling the end of the period. We're going to do the scoring summary, and then we've got Tyrone here, Tyrone Sobry from the PA Raiders, and we're going to do a little bit of an interview and see what his perspective on the experience from his end has been as an ambassador. But here's the goal scoring summary from the second period. Zach Markowski picking up right where he's left off with his scoring touch. Scored with the assistant Jacoby Cardinal as well. Then again, Thomas McFarlane adding to his goal scoring total. Blake Olesko and Kane Hadfield with the assists. Then a pair of matching penalties to Jackie Beck and Fordham after a little bit of following a scrum in the goal mount. An 8-goal game with the second goal for Team Blue. Stay tuned, we're going to have our interview with Tyrone Sobry of the PA Raiders in just a moment. Got a little bit of time here. Where's home for you?
Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay, so,
Yeah, so
you got it nice.
Yeah.
Which zone did you play your minor in then? Welcome back, and we're here with Tyrone Sobry of the Prince Albert Raiders, the Saskatoon product. Enjoying his summer after 3 seasons, or is there your third coming up?
This is my third coming up.
Excellent. Okay, you playing with the PA Raiders. Tyrone, you're here as one of the game ambassadors. What brought you to? What made you want to be part of this tournament?
Well, I saw the I got asked to come by Huey, and Huey's good friends with my dad, so kind of thought, like, I've never coached before, so this is a big eye opener, but I'm liking it.
Oh, excellent.
Really good camp they got going on here.
Well, and Jason spoke quite highly of the influence that you're having on the boys there, kind of like almost that rock star status, I think.
Yeah.
And tell me about the interacting with 12 and 13-year-olds. How is that?
I'm liking it. You know, like, they're pretty funny, actually, but you know, they just look at me as one of their friends, and that's all I'm here is to be a buddy and hopefully teach them a couple things. At least I'll try.
Are they asking a lot of questions?
Yeah,
Sure?
yeah, lots of questions, but mostly jokes. Just kind of throwing jabs at me, but it's good.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty lighthearted there.
Yeah.
And for the most part, other than maybe a period yesterday in the second game, they've they've kind of dominated a little bit here. Are you spending more time maybe with the defensemen than you would maybe with the forwards? Or
Yeah, I'm running the defenseman, but you know, I try and help out the most I can, give a couple tips, but I'm usually working with the defenseman because I'm a defenseman. So
what
it's just
kind of
easier.
player are you? Do you describe yourself as an offensive, stay-at-home guy?
I'm definitely more of a defensive guy. I've never really been much of a scorer except for 1 year. Out of my whole life, I scored a couple goals. But no, it's mostly just playing simple, making plays. That's my game in a nutshell.
So how do you and coach maybe keep some focus in a game like this where you've been so dominant? Obviously you're going to have some tighter games a little bit further on. What are some messages that you guys are currently giving them on the bench there to keep them in it?
The big message is we just gotta keep doing the little things, you know. We've been really good at just making the next play and getting pucks out, getting pucks deep, and forechecking, and we just want to keep that rolling and keep the boys having fun and rolling because they're rolling right now.
So what's the summer looking like for you?
Training, skating, that's about it. Training at the university, so that's good.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah. At Merlis or
Merlis, yeah.
No, that's an amazing facility there too.
Yeah.
Finally, is there anything that I didn't ask you that favorite food this weekend?
No, Boston Pizza's been good.
Yeah.
I like going there.
What's your go-to there?
Oh, the chicken club house with ranch.
Okay. Yeah, no, good to get BP's in there. They've been really great sponsors for us this weekend, keeping us all fed, and obviously we're going to get a little bit more chow there. Really excited and happy to have you up here. I know the influence you've had on the boys. You probably won't even know what the impact is, but based on what the coaches are saying and what Jason is saying and Hugh is saying, the ambassador portion of this weekend can't be overstated at how important it is. And so thanks so much for answering the call. Best of luck with the rest of the weekend. we're back for the final frame here. Blue versus gray. Gray enjoying a very large lead here, but it was blue on the board right at the end of that, and it was Yukon Kim, less than a second to go, scoring adding another goal to his total for the weekend, and just Markowski just picking it up and taking it for a walk. And we talked with the ambassador for Team Gray there at the intermission, and he described himself as a defensive defenseman. That was being Tyrone Sobry, but he has been a really positive influence on these boys as a whole, and is specifically working with the defenders here from Team Gray. It says his first experience as a coach, and obviously whatever he's doing, he and Coach Gordon have that defensive core working really, really well, adding a ton of points and a lot of pressure here on the behalf of Team Gray. Team Blue just looking to do anything to get that puck out of the zone. Once they've been able to get out of their zone, they've been able to be a little bit more even in play. But the struggle has been, just like we see there, Schmier just refusing to let that out. And then get that puck out. Owen Grant buys himself a little time to get off. That's a minute 18, and that's a lot of work for a defender at this point in the tournament. Under siege like that, Grant wisely shooting it out, and he gets a fresh set of legs out there. Lintott line with Souster and Morrow, and we'll see if they're able to get anything going here. Of course, obviously, when we're talking about a tournament like this with 5 games, conditioning becomes a bit of a factor as the second half of the tournament starts to transpire, and we'll see. That may have a little bit of an impact here too. And if those legs are getting a little bit heavy, it could be, it could be also the end of season kind of piece. But so important being able to continue to compete even when you're tired. Both players getting tangled up there. Brio did well to defend without getting himself a penalty. That puck rounded around. Souster now in behind the net where he likes to operate. And he's going to get into that net front situation. Souster now, we're watching him. He is circling right at the top, getting a little bit of a body even from the goaltender there, which is good to see. And Souster now in behind the net. Tough to get off. And Souster looking to move it out in the front. And he's looking again. He's got Lintott. Lintott putting it on. Souster, you just know he's going to get a tip on at some point, favoring that part. And now he goes off for the gate. And out comes Serrano Parker. And he's got a little head of steam, but he's taking on 2 defenders there. Serrano Parker. And he is rubbed out on the boards there by McGee. But he keeps up, gets on his feet. And these kids, the edge control that they have and their body awareness, you saw that with Serrano Parker. He got knocked down off the puck on his knees, retained possession, got up, and continued right on. That's a hallmark of, especially in these off-season situations, building that athletic prowess and skill. And so much of the UMH-68 experience talks about that off-ice commitment. And that was a really good evident play there, Serrano Parker and McGee's interaction. And we'll see if that continues. And McGee now headmans it up, and Olesko's pass deflected out and out of play by Pilling. And that'll get us to the 16:38 mark. No goals scored so far in this third period. Team Blue and Team Gray, 25 and 36 shots apiece. Once again, Bames Physiotherapy is our trusted safety sponsor here, keeping the boys in game shape readiness. And we're very thankful to have Bames Physiotherapy based out of here in Martensville. Bames Physiotherapy, trusted care for every stage of the game. And Gray now starting to work their magic, which in the offensive zone, they've been so impressive at keeping the pressure on. And there's another evident, just putting the pressure, and that outlet pass becoming really tough. A great save by Morley. Owen Morley staying down nice and low, and he kicks that pad out, kicks it back to safe space. But Gray continuing to put pressure there. Now McGee He's got the pinch. And McGee gets that puck onto Cardinal's stick. Cardinal, there's that Cardinal. Sorry, that is Kane Hadfield, actually. And up the ice goes Yukon Kim. He has the last goal in this game. And going stride for stride, Yukon Kim there pulls it in, and he's shot. Another shot. Beautiful save there. Great blocker save by Micah Polinsky. And Team Grey opting to balance things out, and up the ice they go, and Alesko now on the score sheet. But getting back to Polinsky, he's had all 45 minutes of this game so far, and balancing the equal play time for the goaltenders has also been a coach decision. And in this instance, Polinsky has remained between the pipes here, and perhaps a strategy here is to give them that flow of the game and to continue the entire series. And maybe we'll see Eben come in for the next game in that probably first or second position. We'll see what the goal differential is, but based off what we've seen here, Team Grey, and once again, of course, Grant with the physicality there and testing him there, and he came out on top of that one again. He's been involved in a couple of collisions here, effectively using his mass. Nice pass in front, and that shot, and Polinsky, he's up to the challenge again. He has stopped 26 of the 28 shots he's faced. 14:50 mark here in the third period. A big shout out to Focus Goaltending as we talk about the goalies. Leaders in elite goalie development and proud supporters of UMH-68 here in Saskatchewan. Focus Goaltending are doing an extra service here in the UMH U14, providing written feedback on strengths and areas to improve for our goaltenders, and we're thankful for that. Focus Goaltending, shaping the next generation of elite netminders, one save at a time. And now Fordham with the pass, and that's picked up. Now we'll see, is this Pilling? Pilling, he started in that second period, starting to take matters into his own hands, providing a little offensive himself. And Alesko's goal being announced here, and Morrow now looking to keep that play alive. Walker Morrow, and from Robert, Morrow with the wraparound in front, and that puck ends up underneath Polinsky. And Polinsky is so good down low there. The only goals being scored against him in the upper half of the net in this contest. He has been locked down from 3 feet down, and there's evidence of that again, is able to stuff things out. Souster, we've been keeping an eye on Souster here in his gameplay as he attempts to try to have an influence on the offensive side of things. Lintott battling down there with Mantika, and Lintott continuing to grind it out. Now Morrow jumping in, and Pilling makes the step, but there's Souster focusing on him in this shift, and it was a good opportunity for him to come back. And of course, Riley Souster applying his trade for the most part in Martensville right at this rink here for the better part of this year. And he's looking to have a little bit more impact on this game, and now puck on his stick. He's looking up on his backhand. Wheels, gets that puck in a danger zone there, and then back again. Nice play from Souster, the Delisle kid, playing his minor here in Martensville, and now up ice. We've got Gray again, Livingston waiting for that pass, and he gets it, and he's up and over the net. Livingston having a big impact in this game, and now that puck going all the way across ice and back on the stick. This time of Jakubek, and Jakubek right into the gut of goalie Micah Polinsky, and Polinsky continuing to dominate, especially those low base shots. He's good positionally. He is taking away all angles there, and he's now 28 for 30 in the save percentage. That's 93% save percentage here, which is impressive given the amount of goals scored in this tournament. And now we got Yukon Kim Yukon Kim to Keith. Keith's shot goes wide. Yukon Kim staying in on it. And now Jackie Beck, he had a couple goals in last night's game. And Jackie Beck just hits the side of the net. And out comes McFarland now. He gets ahead of steam. And he's trying to split through the defense, and he does. And McFarland gets that shot, but he's too sharp an angle. But puck stays in, another shot. And Morley with the save. And McFarland still. Oh, now not McFarland, Hadfield. Hadfield and McFarland both cycling that puck around and right in front of the net. Oh, that between the leg opportunity, a huge hit. And a goal though. So Blue exercising a little bit of body contact, but Gray staying focused on that puck. Keith leveling the offensive player behind the net, but that puck ends up in the back of the net again, and it's a 12-2 score now. And now we're going to see Jacoby Cardinal lined up against Braden Gorel. Sorry, Cardinal and Gorel, and Cardinal with the face-off win. And now Guest battling in on the boards. Puck comes back into Markowski's hands, and Guest now following it up in the corner, and puck up again. Guest back on with the puck. He puts one on net, sharp angle, but that one is turned away by Morley. And now circling and working their way into the zone is Markowski. He puts one onto the goaltender, Morley, and now the puck is on Guest's stick, and a good save by Morley. And that falls up. 44 shots on goal currently for Team Gray. That's been one of the stories. And Morley, the southpaw, picks that one up with his right-hand glove.
Goal 11:44 in the third period. That was McFarland.
And they're going to give goal credit on that last goal to McFarland again, and he's been piling up the stats here. And we got a face-off to the left of Morley, and Souster back out. And Souster, Morrow, and Jacoby potentially out there on offense with that line facing off against the line of Lee and Livingston. And now Souster with a little bit of time in the office behind the net, and he gets a shot on a sharp angle. That seems to be all that Blue's able to get right now. A lot of sharp angle from the side of the net shots. And I'm pretty sure that Michael Paulinski's happy to have that. He's tucked right into that post area there, and he comes up with the draw, or pardon me, with the stop. And now we've got Souster looking to win a draw here and see if we can get something going for Blue. And Souster and Lee with the playoff, or pardon me, with the face-off drop there. He wins that one, and now he's coming out. That puck shot hard in by Grant and ends up right on the stick of Mantika. And the referees wave off. Any offside there, and now Livingston, he's got such a nose for the puck. He knows exactly where it's going to go. He seems to be the one when that puck is shot with no destination, and he goes down hard. And he's a little slow to get up, and referees blow that one dead. Once again, we're really happy to have Bames Physiotherapy here to take care, and their role is going to become more important as this weekend goes on. And that perhaps is just a little bit of exhaustion. He fell down, got himself a little bit winded, but he's up. He's been a really active player these first 3 games, and he's going to enjoy a little bit of a rest here. By my math, probably once these games are done, we're going to have 2 winners, and it'll be a goal differential situation probably to decide. And Team Gray with a lopsided, with the 8-2 win yesterday and this 12-2 domination today, they're going to have a really good plus-minus, even though they lost to Team Black. And they may, looking ahead here now, we still got 9:42 to play, but reality is that it's probably going to be Team Gray taking first place coming out of this round robin. And that's going to give them a really long rest here, because that 1 versus 4 game, I think, is in the last time slot, and that shot waved off. Alesko here. So Team Gray firmly in control of the competitive side of this UMH-68 weekend experience. And they may have some time to enjoy some of the off-ice sessions a little bit more and get some of that good Boston pizza food and the BioSteel hydration. And right now 12-2, no scoring for Team Blue here in the second period, and Gray continuing to put that pressure. Blue just trying to keep the damage to a minimum. Don't seem to be, and Gray just seemingly moving that puck at will. Lots of bodies in front. Good call from the official. The original stop by Morley. And that puck falls out, and I think it probably, if the goal had been scored, there would have been a case made for a goaltender interference. Morley, from my vantage point, looked like he had two guys almost laying on top of him at the end of that. And now we'll have a face-off to his left, and Gorel will take the draw as he has done so far throughout. And we'll see if he can take another one off a Cardinal. He did win one off Cardinal earlier, and this one, we'll see what happens here. Cardinal has just been fantastic. And there he goes again. He just anticipating, he's got away on the draw circle there. And puck cycled then in and around. Now in Alesko's stick, and he walks it in the top of the circle, puts it on a Guest's stick, and Guest, his shot falls wide. And almost like we're on a power play here, but Gray so good with that puck movement, and they've gelled right from the start. No pickup. Remember, these players are from all over the province and Alberta, and so they don't often get a chance. They play against each other, but this looks like a well-oiled machine here. These guys have very quickly picked up. And now that penalty kill is over, and Grant back out. But Gray just content to work on that penalty kill, moving that puck around and continuing to provide that puck pressure. That's been a hallmark of the whole tournament. Here comes Yukon Kim. He's going to have a wide open shot. And Yukon Kim, instead of going roof, he tests Michael Polinsky. And Polinsky, as we mentioned, he has been lights out from 3 feet down. He's got that lower half of the net seemingly covered, but I'm not sure if Kim would have had enough opportunity. He did draw that into that center dot, and in that goal he scored yesterday, he pulled that puck with the toe drag into the between the hash marks with a beautiful finish. This time, Polinsky maybe getting that one-on-one mind game. He's winning that one at the moment, and he keeps 30 saves now. And so posting some big numbers here, playing the entire game. Obviously, it's nice to have that firepower in front, but Team Blue has proven that they can score. 6:40 remaining in the game here. And that puck just bounces off the stick, and a little bit of a contact there. We have some opportunities for Beckett Fordham. Fordham playing a little bit of a physical game there, and here's Istis, and he's looking for Souster in front. Istis finds the side of the net. Souster getting boxed out there by Schmier, and down goes Kelly, and that's going to bring up an icing. And we've got 6:04 remaining in the hockey game. Hey, Up My Hockey, which is run by Jason Podolin, they have a podcast that you want to listen to. Up My Hockey with Jason Podolin, the podcast for players chasing their full potential. From mindset to performance, this is your go-to source for unlocking the next level in your game. They go by the motto, grow your mindset, grow your game. Listen now and explore mindset coaching at upmyhockey.com. Up My Hockey, because the mental game matters, and that certainly plays in here in a lopsided thing. And Team Blue, a little bit of thinking needed before they get into the playoff round here. Have had some struggles in the latter part of this tournament. They came out strong in that first series of games, and in that first game, and now Team Gray just imposing almost every player dominating that particular role here in this contest. And Livingston, as he's shown all tournament, just keeps that solid base there, and that gives him a lot of control down, especially below the circles. He is almost impossible to move off that puck. And then he's got that quick first 2 steps, and that puck through now for Lee. And it's steered aside by Morley, and Lee, now he moves that cycle around, and just puck movement in front generates a small chance. And now Grant doing what he can, and he gets that puck chipped up to Istis. And Istis, Livingston there, even though he's knocked off the puck, Livingston comes up, and Gray, puck stick knocked out of Pilling's hands. And now fatigue. This is where the conditioning aspect so important, and of course UMH-68 gave a little bit of a athletic testing piece. The endurance part, you know, we're going to see that evident here in the second half of this tournament, especially tonight when they've now had 4 games in the second one in a row. We're going to see which boys are continuing to maintain that high athletic performance rate, and those who maybe are starting to get a little bit more prepped for summer and a little bit of time. Of course, that downtime, not to diminish downtime at all, but late here in June and these late stages of a couple of games in a row might be starting to take its toll. And up goes Hadfield now, and he's showing lots of life. Hadfield, he gets a shot on net, but that's contested. And Morley swarms that and gets the face-off here as we're getting closer with 3:43 to go. The end of this contest, and of course, after a short break, we're going to get an opportunity to see Team Red in action against Team Black. And both those teams coming off of wins, looking to get a favorable outcome to end this and maybe give themselves an enviable spot as the 2nd or 3rd seed, although it looks like 1st seed here is going to be wrapped right up with Gray. And Gray just continuing to that unrelenting pressure. In Hadfield, he has had a goal in this game already, and he's looking for another one. And going up and down the lineup here for Team Gray, all of them having points. And Serrano Parker looking to see if he can continue on a little success, and he evades McGee. And McGee takes it hard, and that shot almost. Serrano Parker, Souster, of course. Oh, it's Kim in front. And Serrano Parker with Kim and Jakubek now. A little bit of a juggle perhaps from that original lineup. And now Olesko, and Olesko's got a goal here in this game too. And he, like so many of the defensemen on this squad, are offense orientation, and you've got opportunity to do that with a 10-goal buffer. And when you've got a goaltender playing like Paulinski, he is just like a vacuum sucking up all those pucks. I could count on one hand probably the number of rebounds he's given up. He has been lights out so far for Team Gray. And remember, he might be one of those guys for consideration for the Ritchie Brothers top 3 stars and that Grit and Grind Award, which will be in about 2 minutes, 35 seconds of playing time. Those individual honors up for grabs. In terms of looking for offensive stars, it's going to be really difficult to see one person standing out, maybe more so than the other for Team Gray. But I would say that goaltender, Micah Paulinski, has made a strong case for his name featuring perhaps in those final 4. We'll see what the determining factor is. And Paulinski, almost like he's hearing us from up here, swarms another one, and it's now 33rd save, and that's got to be tops among goaltenders here for this tournament. He has been stellar here. Frustrating Team Blue. Have had a couple of good opportunities, but nothing that they can really claim credit over top of him. We'll see if they can get a goal here as they did at the end of the last period. That under second to go with Kim's goal, and Souster continuing to work his game plan here himself. He is a grinder down low there, looking to try to find ways to get pucks to his teammates and to get chaos in front. And let's see what he can do here. Puck steered into the corner now, and Souster and Markowski mixing it up a little bit. That puck finding its way out. And we're down 90 seconds in. And just a reminder again, we're going to have the Grit and Grind Award sponsored by Weatherspoon Realty and the Ritchie Brothers 3 Stars awarded at the end of this contest. It's safe to say that Team Grey is going to come out on top here, and likely with the goal differential, unless there's a massive scoring output here by either of Team Red or Black. Team Grey is going to claim the first spot and get that nice first versus fourth. We may be seeing a preview of that contest tonight, and so Team Blue might get a chance for a little redemption in the late evening contest here. Remember that this is the final of the first 2 games this morning are the wrap-up games of the round robin, and then seeded first through fourth, we'll see the first and fourth. And maybe actually, I got to check. They may give this as the first game in the evening just to maximize the amount of rest for the winner of that for the gold medal game tomorrow. But tomorrow's featurette was going to have 2 games for the medals. And we are down into the final 16 seconds. Once again, thanks to our national sponsors. They are BioSteels, Elite Prospects, Iron Ghost, and the Up My Hockey. And the final whistle blows, and both teams will have an opportunity to recoup, collect themselves, but I'm guessing that this is going to be your first versus fourth contest. So we're going to see a repeat, and obviously Blue hoping to get a little redemption in that game tonight. But we're going to see perhaps that second versus 3 matchup not in that. So a couple of double headers probably forming here. And again, the goal differential for Team Grey is pretty significant. They lost by 3 last night, but they have a plus 18 taking that 3. They'll be plus 15 in the goal score total, and that's probably going to guarantee them the first seed. And Team Blue, suffering a big blowout yesterday and the 10 goals here, they're probably going to settle in at that fourth. So this is your preview for tonight's first semifinal, which by logic, we're going to see a preview of that. And that may play a little bit into the gamesmanship from both coaches in the second contest, knowing that they're going to see each other for a second game. Specifically, it might give a little bit of a look in terms of what the goalie strategy is going to look like. We didn't see no game, so you'd likely probably going to see him get the nod for Team Grey.
The Grit and Grind Award.
The Grit and Grind Award winner here being awarded first by Hugh Hamilton, the provincial director of UMH-68. And Hamilton instrumental in bringing this event to the Martensville Recreation Center.
The Grit and
Grind Award winner is going to go to Team
number 4, Owen Grant.
Yeah, of course, and that's a well-chosen Grant. Had himself a good game. Tough being a defender here, but he had a couple of huge hits. One notably standing up the Grey player there, biggest open ice hit, and he had another one in the third. And now we're looking at the Ritchie Brothers 3 stars, and the third star of the game is going to go.
UMH-68 Saskatchewan.
We'll listen for the game call here.
Celebrating excellence on ice.
The third star winner for this first game.
Team Blue, number 16, Yukon
And Yukon Kim getting the nod as the third star. And of course, scoring another highlight goal there with less than a second to go in the second period. He roofed one there on Morley to add a little bit of there. And Team Grey now. And Zach Markowski, so dominant from his D spot in that both games here, especially the first morning games. He had some input in the loss to Black, but a wonderful game here. And McFarlane with a couple of goals here is your first star. And those are your individual winners there after the end of the round robin for both teams. And like we said, this is a preview of the 1 versus 4 contest. Unless we see a miraculous massive goal output that would keep the differential there. We're going to see these two teams again later this afternoon. And obviously Team Blue will be looking to see if they can take a bite out of Gray a little bit more than he did. We're going to see Team Red taking on Team Black, and it'll be interesting to see what the two coaches' strategy is going to be, because they know now that this is going to be a back-to-back affair. So they're going to be looking to see who is going to be there. But really, the outcome of this game not necessarily going to determine who finishes, obviously where they finish in the standings, but with the 2 versus 3 format, whether you win or you lose, it's going to be that second contest is going to matter whether who goes through to that gold medal game. But that's the end of this feed. Thanks for tuning in, and we will check back in with you in a couple minutes for that last round of the round robin final game.